What does it take to break a person's silence when the world assumes they're weak? In the small, gritty town of Ironwood, where whispers traveled faster than truth, Emily Harper was an enigma. To most, she was this simple woman, quiet, unassuming, always in faded jeans and a worn hoodie, her eyes fixed on the ground as she shuffled through the market or past the local bar. Her silence invited mockery, especially from a trio of local bullies, Jake, Marcus, and Trey, who thrived on making others feel small. They'd taunt her, tossing cruel jabs about her plain clothes or solitary life, their laughter echoing like a predator's growl. But Emily never flinched. She just walked on, her silence a shielder, so they thought. Every evening, Emily slipped into the old community center, a crumbling relic at the edge of town. No one questioned why she went there. They assumed she was cleaning or organizing, some menial task fitting their image of her. But inside, under flickering fluorescent lights, Emily transformed. She tied a black belt around her waist, her movements fluid and precise, each kick and strike a silent symphony of power. For years, she'd trained in martial arts, not for show, but for herself, a quiet rebellion against a world that underestimated her. One chilly autumn night, the bullies' taunts escalated. They cornered Emily in an alley behind the bar, their breath reeking of cheap beer, their voices dripping with malice. "What's the matter, Simple? Too scared to talk?" Jake sneered, stepping closer. Marcus tossed an empty can at her feet, and Trey laughed, egging them on. The townsfolk nearby turned away, unwilling to intervene. Emily stood still, her heart steady, her eyes unreadable. She didn't want this, but she was ready. Then, a twisted figure emerged from the shadows. It was Mrs. Clara, the elderly librarian, her frail frame trembling as she clutched her cane. "Leave her alone," she shouted, her voice cracking but defiant. The bullies laughed, dismissing her, but Clara's courage sparked something in Emily. She didn't need saving, but Clara's stand reminded her why she'd trained so hard, not just for herself, but for those who couldn't fight back. In a blur, Emily moved. Her strikes were silent, precise, a dance of controlled fury. Jake lunged, but she sidestepped, her elbow connecting with his jaw, dropping him like a stone. Marcus swung wildly, only to find himself flipped onto the pavement, gasping. Trey froze, then bolted, but Emily's sweeping kick caught his ankle, sending him sprawling. In seconds, the trio lay groaning, their bravado shattered. The alley was silent, save for Clara's soft gasp. Emily straightened, her breath even, her face still calm. She didn't say a word. Word of the incident spread like wildfire. The town's perception of Emily shifted overnight. Whispers now carried awe, not mockery. She wasn't simple anymore, she was a force, a quiet storm who'd let her actions speak. But Emily didn't bask in the attention divorce. She returned to her routine, training at the community center, walking the streets with the same unassuming stride. To her, the victory wasn't in the fight, but in the choice to fight for something greater. Clara became her unlikely friend, often joining her at the center, watching Emily train with a proud smile. "You're stronger than you look," Clara said one day, her eyes twinkling. Emily only nodded, her silence no longer a shield but a statement. She didn't need to prove herself to anyone. Her strength was her own, earned through years of discipline, not for glory but for peace. The bullies never bothered her again. Jake, Marcus, and Trey slunk through town, avoiding her gaze. The community began to see others differently too, questioning their assumptions about the quiet, the overlooked. Emily's act wasn't just a fight, it was a lesson. Strength isn't always loud, and kindness doesn't mean weakness. In her silence, Emily taught Ironwood that true power lies in restraint, in choosing when to strike and when to walk away. As winter settled over the town, Emily stood in the community center, practicing under the flickering lights. She didn't need the town's approval, but she felt its warmth. Clara's voice echoed in her mind. "You're stronger than you look." Maybe, Emily thought, that was the point. Strength isn't for show, it's for the moment it's needed. And when that moment came, she was ready.